Okay. I don't know what happened. My computer decided to have a fit, and everything just went dark. But I'm here again. And things seems to be working. Test. Okay, good. I have no idea what happened there. Absolutely no idea. Give me a moment, because that's not relevant. So yeah, Hunter Biden's been charged. Conservatives are losing their shit because he didn't get jail time because he pleaded guilty. I'm scrolling. Okay, let's see what Trump Jr. has to say. The blatant politicized nature of Joe Biden's Justice Department. Every accusation is an admission. Under AG Garland couldn't be more clear today. The plea deal that they cut with Hunter Biden reeks of favoritism and brazenly reveals a system where there are two tiers of justice, wholly dependent on your political affiliation. If you're a Republican, Biden's DOJ will throw the book at you and try to put you in prison for 100 years. But if you happen to have the right last name, like Hunter, they will protect you and treat you with kid gloves. That's true. But the same goes for you, Donald Trump Jr. We are no longer a nation with equal justice under the law, but rather something more akin to a third world banana republic where the law exists to protect the ruling class while targeting the opposition. Let's see what I know. This is I'm preaching to the choir here. I just want to have this on record. Donald Trump. Everyone remember the first GOP debate that Trump had, with like 20 people on stage or something? Everyone remember that? Oh, there's no video here? That sucks. That sucks. Here we go. Vimeo, for some reason. Okay. Sure.
They do whatever the hell you want them to do.
You better believe it.
So what specifically did they do?
If I ask them, if I need them, you know, most of the people on this stage I've given to, just so you understand. A lot of money.
Not me. Not me. But you're welcome to give me.
Who's that? I can't see.
Many of them.
Actually, to be clear,
That's
he
right.
supported Charlie Crist.
Not much.
Gave Charlie
But
Crist.
I have.
Donald, if you end
I
your
have
campaign, I hope you will give to me.
Good.
Okay.
Sounds good. Sounds good to me, Governor. I will tell you that our system is broken. I give to many people. Before 2 months ago, I was a businessman. I give to everybody. When they call, I give. And you know what? When I need something from them, 2 years later, 3 years later, I call them. They are there for me. So and that's a broken system.
So what'd you get from Hillary Clinton and Nancy Pelosi?
Well, I'll tell you what. With Hillary Clinton, I said, be at my wedding, and she came to my wedding. You know why? She had no choice because I gave. I gave to a foundation that, frankly, that foundation is supposed to do good. I didn't know her money would be used on private jets going all over the world.
Yeah,
it
you
was.
did.
But, okay?
Mr. Trump, thank you. Hold on. We're gonna move on. We'll come back to
He's so unused to the debate stage. He's like, ding, ding, ding. Oh, shut up. He learned that quickly,
you, Governor Walker.
which is kind of interesting how quickly he'll learn to just keep talking until he gets cut off.
1 second on this, though. We spend a lot of time talking about Hillary Clinton and pitting us back and forth. Let's be clear. We should be talking about Hillary Clinton on that last subject, because everywhere in the world that Hillary Clinton touched is more messed up today than before she and the
We
press
have many
knew.
questions to come.
So,
Many questions to come.
point is,
They do whatever.
Trump's been part of that system for a long time, Dunny boy. There's nothing new about this. It's been part of the U.S. System since its inception. Let's see here. In reality, it was rather harsh. The charges are things that normally get a pass. The gun charges rarely and only ever used when an evil defendant can't be charged with more serious charges. Who hasn't paid taxes late? It's not uncommon. Trump judge, after 5 years, they pulled some thin crap out of a hat. I will bet Don Jr. is guilty of both. Yeah. It sounds about right to me. Wait, where did that go? No. Oh, that's what I wanted. That I was wondering earlier. I was like, I saw something that I want to look at, but I couldn't remember what it was. Now I remember what it was. Let's go to Rubin Report. That's fun. What is going on here? The Rubin Report. Starting soon. Oh, God, that's loud.
I'm not exactly sure what you mean.
Oh.
I say it almost every day, but this year is just freaking flying by so fast. I cannot believe we are more than halfway done with the year, but here we are. As always, we are live streaming on Rumble, Locals, and YouTube. Subscribe and tap that notification. And by the way, as of today, we are relaunching the Rubin Report merch store, which is
nobody cares
happening right this moment, which sort of sounds good, but I have a feeling it's actually not good. You cannot be a very exciting, soft to be a Republican.
You don't have to be a Republican, but you cannot be a Democrat. Okay. So, how does this differ from Jimmy Dore, the Gray Zone, or all those people actually? Honestly, how does this differ?
Republicans on you nicely. Speaking of the government, these big institutions doing a whole bunch of crap, there is some breaking news happening right this moment, which sort of sounds good, but I have a feeling it's actually not good. This is from Greg Price. Breaking Hunter Biden has been charged with 2 tax misdemeanors and illegal possession of a firearm, pleading guilty to the first 2 and entering into a pretrial diversion agreement on the latter, which will undoubtedly keep him out of jail. So I just want to address this real quick. I was actually supposed to be on Fox News this morning. I was doing Dana Perino and Bill Hemmer's show. I was supposed to be talking about DeSantis and Newsom, but then the press conference on this thing broke, so they had me comment on it on the fly. And I'll just basically real quick repeat what I said there, which is this sort of on its face value sounds good, like they're finally going after Hunter a little bit, but
it's been going on for 5 years. 5 years.
If you think about it a little bit further, and this is what you have to do with almost everything these days, there's the headline and then there's what's right beneath it. This sort of feels like this is how they're going to get Hunter Biden and thus Joe Biden to run away scot-free, right? So they're not looking into all of the money that he got and the Burisma deal and the $5 million wire and all.
Yeah, that's the latest conspiracy for anyone who's not in the know. 5 million Burisma, Hunter, and Joe Biden. Joe Biden allegedly paid $5 million by Burisma executive as part of a bribery scheme, according to FBI document. The FBI document in question was an allegation. That's it. That is it. According to the FD 1023 form, the confidential source, a human source, said that Burisma executive discussed Hunter's role on the board. Sure. The confidential human source questioned by why the Burisma executive needed his or her advice in acquiring access to U.S. oil if he had Hunter Biden on the board. The Burisma executive answered by referring to Hunter Biden as dumb. So, what you're saying... wait, I didn't even plan this. What you're saying is Hunter Biden couldn't get you access to Joe Biden? Is that what you're saying? Like, he tried probably, and Joe's like, no, son, it's not going to happen. I can't do a Biden, especially not with this voice. But he's like just stuttering, doing nothing. The Burisma executive explained to the confidential source that Burisma had to pay the Bidens because Ukrainian prosecutor Viktor Shokin was investigating Burisma and explained how difficult it would be to enter the U.S. market in the midst of that investigation. The confidential source further detailed that conversation, suggesting that the Burisma executive that pay the Bidens $50,000 each, to which the Burisma executive replied, "It's not $50,000, it's $5 million. $5 million for one Biden, $5 million for the other Biden." The Burisma executive told the confidential human source, according to the source familiar with the document. A source familiar said, according to the document, the $5 million payments appeared to reference a kind of retainer Burisma intended to pay the Bidens to deal with a number of issues, including the investigation led by Shokin. Another source referred to our agreements as a pay-to-play scheme. Blah, blah, blah. The conference source Burisma executive told they paid the Bidens in such a manner through so many different bank accounts that investigation would not be able to unravel this for the last 10 years. For at least 10 years, sorry. For at least 10 years. The document that makes references to the big guy, which has been said to be a reference to Biden. Joe Biden, that is. If this is true, yeah, go to jail. First, don't pass go, just go straight to jail. Sure. They had access to Hunter Biden's accounts for sure during this investigation. They probably found nothing. So this allegation, which everyone, when they mention it, says, if true, what's her name? The presidential candidate, former Democrat, presidential candidate, Hawaii. What is her name? Tulsi. Tulsi Gabbard. Burisma allegations, Fox News. They should get it. No. Also, they can't do shorts. This is not how you do shorts. Come on, where is it? If true. That's not it. 3 months ago also? Nope. Oh, whatever. She basically just goes, if they are true, if this is true, if the allegations are true, which,
all the stuff that's the real.
Yeah, if prove it, and then we can talk.
Real stuff. They're getting him on some random stuff. If he's already cut the plea deal and sounds like will automatically stay out of prison. So we shall see. But again, the asymmetry of everything is what is driving people crazy. We have to have one standard of laws for everybody, and you cannot have Democrat privilege. You guys know about Democrat privilege. You're allowed to ruin everything as a public servant, and you get, usually get a better job. Gavin Newsom, right, ruins San Francisco as mayor, becomes governor of California on his way to trying to become president, or you just skate by the legal system, where if you're a Republican, they're going to look at you in a much more focused way. One other thing, and then I will.
By the way, just so we're clear on what's going on. On Rumble, the chat is available. Strange. Why would chat be available on Rumble? Sorry, but not on YouTube.
I'll tell you the theme of today's show. I promise you this is actually very cool, and it's directly related to what we talked about yesterday. First, I'll show you a tweet from NBC, and then the cool thing. This was NBC News yesterday. YouTube says it has removed a video of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. speaking with podcast host Jordan Peterson for spreading what the company says is vaccine misinformation. Now, first off, that they whittle Jordan down to podcast host is what it is. But
because he is.
On the heels of that, so Jordan interviewed Robert F. Kennedy. I think it was about an hour and a half long interview. I saw a little clip of it. YouTube took it down. I don't know if Jordan's channel got a strike. We've discussed the strike situation with you. If your channel gets a strike, you can't live stream for a little while. You get 2 strikes. Then you can't live stream for like a month. You get 3 strikes and you're gone. So this is a real threat. It's assault absolutely on free speech. And if you think that Jordan Peterson and Robert F. Kennedy is too scary to be on YouTube, we got a real freaking problem. And yes, we do have a real freaking problem. But good things are happening. People, look at this from Rumble this morning. I had an inkling this was going to happen yesterday.
Of course he would. Of course he would.
Breaking. Rumble welcomes Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Democrat candidate for president. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s first live stream will take place at 7 p.m. Eastern time this evening. That's right. So look, the more they attack us, the more the machines come after us and chase us down and all of that stuff. We will continue to build new institutions with what we're doing at Rumble, what we're doing at Locals, what Elon's doing at Twitter. There are alternative roads. The parallel economy, the free speech internet, it's being built. It does exist, and we're just going to keep fighting it. And I appreciate that you're on the journey with us. Today's show, now we can get to the theme. Today's show is going to be framed around this really, I don't know any other adjective to say other than disastrous interview that President Trump did with Bret Baier on Fox last night. It was really, really bizarre.
Even Rubin admits this. Even Dave Rubin admits that, because that's going to be the next thing that I'm talking about. So why don't we just skip to that? Trump, Bret Baier interview, maybe. I just want the interview. I don't want your commentary. I want the interview.
Trump wrapped.
We're 19 hours ago.
First chief incident,
Which national
security documents at Mar-a-Lago.
would be please, could we have it back?
And they
please,
asked for that.
because they have no. We
They
were
did
talking.
ask for it.
No. And
Okay, so here's how Trump characterizes the entire thing.
Had these sensitive national security documents at Mar-a-Lago.
the only way NARA could ever get this stuff, this back, would be please, could we have it back?
And they
please,
asked for that.
because they have no. We
They
were
did
talking.
ask for it.
No, and
they said,
I gave
"Can you
them
give the
some,
documents back?"
And we were talking.
And then they said they went to DOJ to subpoena you to get them
which
back.
they've never done before.
Right.
And in
But
all
why
Because they've never had to before.
not just hand them over then?
because I had boxes. I want to go through the boxes and get all my personal things out. I don't want to hand that over to NARA yet. And I was very busy, as you've sort of seen.
Yeah, but
I've been
according to
very,
the
The DOJ does not care if you're busy. Hunter Biden was busy doing blow, coke, maybe the same thing, I don't know, hookers and fire, shooting cowboy styles as being blown while doing blow. You know, he's doing everything. He was a very busy boy. That's why he didn't file the taxes. You know, that's why.
indictment, you then tell this aide to move to other locations after telling your lawyers to say you'd fully complied with the subpoena when you hadn't.
But before I send boxes over, I have to take all of my things out. These boxes were interspersed with all sorts of things.
Bret Baier, Fox News. Chief political anchor and anchor of Special Report, joins us now by phone on his way back into New York after this interview. Brett, what was your takeaway from your talk with the president, having just come off this second indictment?
Just give me the damn interview.
Martha, good afternoon. I think, listen, defiant is definitely part of the answer, but he really denies flatly some of the things that are specifically laid out in the indictment. And I talk about, in further questioning after this, about the indictment and the recording of what is alleged to be his voice saying that he did not declassify these documents when he was president. Now he can't, and they're top secret and highly confidential, and then shows them to people according to the indictment. I press him on all of that. He denies it. He says that he did not have a document about Iran war plans.
Sure, I didn't. Sure.
You know, for a federal judge that issues this order that he can't talk to other people in the case, nor can he talk about specifics in the case, he went far down in specifics. And, you know, as he started talking, I followed up and pressed on a number of different issues. Yeah. But this interview runs the gamut. I mean, it's more than an hour long. We're going to split it up in two pieces. And every question that you, I think, would want to ask the former president, we got to some iteration of it.
So there's really no, it's not the first part isn't even online yet, is it? Okay, let's listen to what Brett Baer has to say here.
You know, in terms of 2024, Brett, does he seem confident that he will be the nominee and that he wants to be president again?
Yes, 100%. I asked it
of course he wants to be president again. Are you kidding me? He wants to die in office. He wants to be a dictator. Everybody knows this. This is not a... do you think he wants to? Yeah, he wants to. Of course he does. The only way he can survive charges, or he can not survive charge. He can not see the inside of a jail cell. The only way he can probably stay out of prison, and when I say jail cell and prison, I mean cozy hotel room probably, is by becoming president and pardoning himself. Yeah. Of course.
Ways, different times. He is 100% in the mindset that he's not going to get out of this race no matter what happens to him legally. He still calls it all a witch hunt and political. He says he's not worried about going to jail. He says he's got more things to do, and he wants to do it because he believes that he has the right mindset and ability to make America great again. We talk, Martha, about everything.
They are, if that is what they are clinging to, like this is the most positive thing they can say, then the shit show that is this interview is going to be explosive.
Around the world, and his policies going forward, if he gets a second term, he's obviously super critical of President Biden in many different specific ways. And then, you know, I press him on some of the opponents that are already hitting him from the right ideologically, like Governor DeSantis and Vice President Pence.
Yeah, you know, we're looking at an image right now of all the GOP declared candidates, and DeSantis...
Okay, who the fuck is Burgum? Who is Suarez? Johnson? Who the fuck are you? Of course, Chris Christie's trying again. Hutchinson? I've heard that name before, at least. Elder, oh my God. Pence, of course. Scott, are you Ramaswamy? The amount of people who are delusional in thinking they can beat Donald Trump, the only one who has a sliver of a chance is probably DeSantis, but even he's struggling.
DeSantis is the only one who's in spitting distance of him right now, and obviously there's a lot of time to go in this. But what did he say about DeSantis?
He really kind of blows him off. He says,
All right. What's this?
Ow. again, regardless of what side of the Trump-DeSantis thing you're on or anything else. I don't know how Trump's lawyers let him do this.
No.
You can see why some of his lawyers are quitting and why he's having trouble surrounding himself with good people, because he goes and does these interviews and says crazy things in the midst of legal cases, right? 2 indictments and another one coming from Georgia down the way. So we're going to contrast a bit of Trump's interview, a bunch of clips we're going to show you unedited, and then we're going to contrast that with an interview that Ron DeSantis did a couple of days ago. And you can just look at the fundamental difference.
Wait. I know Ruben is a DeSantis butt boy. Sure, but come on, DeSantis is so boring compared to Trump.
Discipline and vision for this country, and I think it is fairly obvious. And then, of course, we'll go into a little bit about how the media is treating both of these guys and the absolute apoplectic spasming that the corporate press is doing about Ron DeSantis and Casey DeSantis right now. It's just so insane, and it's like, man, we've seen this movie before, but a certain amount of people just fall for it over and over again. Before we get to that, let me talk to you guys about Birch Gold.
Gold
Group. You guys know the Congress once again allowed itself to be pushed into appeasing the administration and raise the debt ceiling for the 79th time.
Wait, what is Birch? He's Ben Shapiro. Birch Gold Group is proud to have received the endorsement of Ben Shapiro, host of the Ben Shapiro Show and editor-in-chief of the Daily Wire. Oh my God. They are... Wait. That's... Okay, thank you. That's not the real value of silver. That's not... Thank you. Palladium? Okay. They're selling gold. Congratulations. You're selling gold?
Paving the way.
How embarrassing. It's I don't know if it's one step above or below selling emergency supplies.
He's decided to sit down with Fox News' Bret Baier last night. Now, most people, I think this is fair to say, I welcome your thoughts in the comments. Most people think Bret Baier is a fairly decent journalist, like a fairly decent guy. I'm sure people have their criticisms of him. Okay, people have their criticisms of everybody, but he's a pretty middle of the road guy. Doesn't seem like he has a major agenda. He sat down with Trump last night, and it was wild. It really was wild. I mean, this almost feels like it could end Trump altogether. Take a look.
Okay, in 2016 you said that. I'm going to surround myself with only the best and most serious people.
Well, I did do that. And we had tremendous. Look, we had the best economy we've ever had.
This
the world
time
has ever seen.
Your Vice President Mike Pence is running against you.
Yeah.
Your Ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley, she's running against you. Your former Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, said he's not supporting you. You mentioned National Security Advisor John Bolton. He's not supporting you either. You mentioned Attorney General Bill Barr, says you shouldn't be president again, calls you the consummate narcissist and troubled man. You recently called Barr a gutless pig. Your second defense secretary is not supporting you, called you irresponsible. This week, you and your White House called your White House Chief of Staff, John Kelly, weak and ineffective and born with a very small brain. You called your acting White House Chief of Staff, Mick Mulvaney,
that's pretty funny,
a born loser. You called your first Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson, dumb as a rock, and your first Defense Secretary, James Mattis, the world's most overrated general. You called your White House Press Secretary, Kayleigh Kennedy, milquetoast, and multiple times you've referred to your Transportation Secretary, Elaine Chao, as Mitch McConnell's China-loving wife. So, why did you hire all of them in the first place?
Connor goes to me in the middle.
That's a scathing summary of Trump's administration. But by the way, since Dave Rubin is such a fanboy of DeSantis, I wouldn't be surprised if this is coordinated, and he is coordinated with DeSantis's like a super PAC of some sort. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
That thing. What do you say about me in Phoenix when we're not around? I mean, look, guys, that is damning. I know there is a certain set of people that no matter what Trump does, no matter what Trump says, et cetera, they're never going to turn, right? They're never going to see that maybe something's not right here. But he just went through a freaking laundry list of not just random people, not just, the intern and the janitor who don't like him anymore. Like, this is pretty much everybody. And also the way Trump looked down when he said, what was it? He called Bill Barr a gutless pig or something. And the way he said that to Trump, and Trump immediately looked down, like, he knows this stuff isn't true. So you can either believe, I suppose, that Donald Trump is the greatest human being in the history of the world, ordained by God and given to us to save all of us, and the rest of these people are all idiots and morons, or some.
Florida governor and Republican presidential candidate Ron DeSantis will headline the Basque Fry on June 17th in Gardenville. The full speaker lineup was announced Thursday. Also appearing at the 8th annual event, bringing together Nevada conservatives, will be Dana Loesch, a radio and TV host and former National Rifle Association spokesperson, and Dave Rubin, a political commentator and host of the Rubin Report talk show.
Some of the worst stuff that Trump said, or that maybe something's not quite right here. That is not to say that we didn't have a great economy before COVID under Trump. We did. That is not to say he didn't make a whole bunch of good things happen in the Middle East and a series of other things that we all know and I talk about all the time, and it's why I supported him for re-election. But we have to, I think, decide, like, do we want more of this name calling? You know, Trump went on late.
That's the only thing that he's got. That's the only thing that I think everyone likes about him. Seriously, I don't know anyone who doesn't, like, even if you hate Trump and what he stands for, everyone gives him credit for being funny. And part of that funny comes from the name calling. Ron DeSantis has none of it. None of it. There is a statistical 0 chance of Ron DeSantis winning over Biden. A statistical 0 chance. The best thing that can happen is if Republicans elect or choose Ron DeSantis to be their nomination. That would be the best thing. Trump will absolutely run third party for sure. And his voters, half of Republicans probably, it's going to go to him.
Later to talk about how
nobody's excited for Ron DeSantis.
Still do support him, but where are they? Who are they? I know there's Rick Grinnell, and I like Rick, and we're friends. But who else that was working under this guy? You know, after what he said about Kayleigh and the rest of them, that does tell you a little something. But let's just continue for a moment. I want to show you. This is video of the person that Trump made his joint chief of staff. This is Mark Milley. Take a look.
I want to understand white rage, and I'm white, and I want to understand it. So what is it that caused thousands of people to assault this building and try to overturn the Constitution of the United States of America? What caused that? I want to find that out. I want to maintain an open mind here, and I do want to analyze it. It's important that we understand that because our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Guardians, they come from the American people. So it is important that the leaders, now and in the future, do understand it. I've read Mao Zedong. I've read Karl Marx. I've read Lenin. That doesn't make me a communist. So what is wrong with understanding, having some situational understanding about the country for which we are here to defend? And I personally find it offensive that we are accusing the United States military, our general officers, our commissioned, non-commissioned officers, of being, quote, woke or something else because we're studying.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. Studying some of the most influential people to live on this earth, when that becomes a bridge too far, I don't know what to say. The party is gone. It's over. It's Jover. It's completely Jover.
He's completely wrong, and in this case, the guy.
No, he's not. No, Ruben. Oh, you're so stupid that you think studying Karl Marx from a capitalist mindset to understand what socialists are thinking and why they have the beliefs they have, and yada, yada, yada. That's just good to do.
They showed there Matt Gaetz, congressman from Florida. You've seen him on the show. You know him. Was completely right calling the military woke. We know that they are pushing all of this gender stuff and they are pushing all of the woke racism stuff. We know it's going through the military. So he gets up there and he does what the lefties do, right? I'm outraged that you would even ask me this, right? Like that you could even bring this up. How could you do that? I want to understand white rage. Ridiculous. But that's okay. So we got Brett Baer just laying out all the people who are now against.
I don't know. I know why he says this. I know his thought process. But this is such intellectual, not only it's not necessarily dishonesty, but it is. But it's absolutely intellectual laziness. Completely.
against him. These people were all the best of the best, right? When he hired them, these are the best of the best. I only work with the best of the best. Now they all turn out to be pigs and morons and idiots and everything else. This is the guy, Milley, is the guy that he hired to be his Joint Chief of Staff, who's interested in white rage and is upset that anyone would even bring up that the military might have gone woke. Here's another doozy from last night. Bear asked, and this was like a softball.
By the way, when they accused the military of going woke because they accept LGBT whatever and all that, and okay, I know why they're doing that. The military, if they could find proof that they would be less effective in fighting an opponent, in fighting another armed force, they wouldn't do it. I've seen on Twitter people go comparing like the Chinese army, not just the Russian army, but the Chinese army. Chinese army versus U.S. army. Let's see if I can find it. And the funny thing is, okay. Here we have one guy who goes, U.S. Army Parade versus Chinese Army Parade. Now you know why there's been no repercussions. I don't know. Joe Biden could have shot down the Chinese balloon over the. Okay, so this is from that period, and it came out that Trump never did either order it. This is a U.S. Army Parade, and this is Chinese. Here they're not just complaining about there being women in the army, I guess. They complain they're not marching, they're not displaying their strength, they're not doing whatever. But I want to see. That's not the latest. No, I saw a tweet. Never mind. Of they're praising the Chinese army, and the image they used had women in the army, and the issue with this is that women in the army, that's woke. That is part of the woke, quote unquote, agenda. You know, that is part of a more progressive, and China, even North Korea, has been, and Cuba and all that have been way ahead of the U.S. on this. Like they have had women in the army. I don't know about Cuba. At least I know North Korea and China has had women in the army since its inception. Since the communists took over, the quote-unquote communists, they've had women in the army. That was part of Mao's agenda. So they are now praising China's army for being strong. And U.S. could never, please.
Oh man, this is a freaking softball. Don, pitch yourself to women and independents. Why should they vote for you?
And so to the female independent voter in the suburbs.
Okay. This was the clip I saw. This clip I saw on Twitter already.
Struggled with family financing because of inflation. She's now against Biden, disapproves of Biden, but wasn't with you in 2020, and so far is a hard no for you in 2024. But what do you say to that? What do you say to that female independent suburban voter who feels that way? To win her back?
First of all, I won in 2020 by a lot. Okay, let's get that straight. I won in 2020.
You know that
and if you look at all of the tapes, if you look at everything that you want to look at, you take a look at Truth to Vote, where they have people stuffing the ballot boxes on tape.
I can see the Fox executives, because everyone was watching this. Everyone, they had a live feed to this interview. They had lawyers standing right next to Trump, looking Brett Baer straight in the eyes, sweating profusely. They had producers on set in the ear of Brett Baer going, don't let him say that on a post. And they were freaking out. Because if Brett Baer does not correct Donald Trump enough, make it perfectly clear that he is lying here, oh, they would be sued to hell. They would be sued to high heavens again. And they wouldn't exist anymore, probably. They don't have that kind of money at the moment. That's why this is going to happen.
Mr.
Or
President,
let's go
that's
to
all
recent.
looked
Well, wait a
into.
minute. Let's go to recent. FBI Twitter. Let's go to recent. The 51 agents. All corrupt stuff, Brett.
They're sweating.
That's cheating on the election. But that's cheating on the election.
You lost the 20.
Okay, so you got to understand.
Oh, you didn't show the entire clip? You coward. You coward.
He's throwing him a softball here. Like, why should these women, who traditionally, women in independence, suburban women, who have not traditionally voted Republican and certainly did not vote for you, we know that. Why should they come around to you this time? There's a lot of things that Trump could say. Trump could say, hey, DeSantis has gone further right than me on abortion, right? He wants 6 weeks is now what they have in Florida. That seems extreme to me. I know that most women, suburban women, especially middle-class suburban women, don't feel it. Like, that would have been an honest answer. Like, so he could say, I'm a little more moderate on that. Instead, he gave he really gave 2 issues. He said the election was stolen. Okay, so I don't know what that has to do with female and independent voters. Just going back.
Okay, is this?
Take a look at truth.
The storm has arrived. Sure. He believes Trump
First of
here.
all, I won in 2020 by a lot. Okay, let's get that straight.
Let's
I
get
won
that straight.
in 2020.
You know that
and
this-
if you look at all
that's
of the
not
tapes,
what
if
the
you look
vote
at
should-
If you look at, oh, sorry.
everything that you want
If you look at all of the tapes,
to look at, you take a look at Truth to Vote, where they have people stuffing the ballot boxes on tapes, or
Mr. President,
let's
that
go
was
to
all
recent.
looked
Well,
into.
wait a minute. Let's go to
sweating
recent.
profusely.
FBI Twitter.
Sweating
Let's go to
profusely.
recent. The 51 agents, all corrupt stuff, Brett.
Understand about the Hunter Biden,
No, but
all
that's cheating
fair
on the
things,
election.
but
That's cheating on the
You
election.
lost the 2020 election.
Brett, you take a look at all of the stuffed ballots. You take a look at all of the things, including things like the 51 intelligence
There
agents.
were recounts in all of the swing states. There was not significant widespread
We're trying
fraud.
to get recounts, real
There were
recounts, not just numbers of
investigations,
votes
widespread
cast.
corruption. There was not a sense of that. There were lawsuits, more than 50 of them, by your lawyers, some in front of
Ready,
judges that you appointed.
Look at Wisconsin.
That
Like he-
came out with no
Wisconsin
evidence.
is Brett,
like the producers like feeding him these lines. They feeding him the lines. The lawyers like, stop it. We can't afford any more lawsuits. Okay, stop it.
Wisconsin has practically admitted it was rigged. Other states are doing the same right now, and it's continuing on.
There have been
It was
reviews
a
of
rigged
every
election.
potential case of voter fraud in 6 battleground states, and they found fewer than 475 cases.
You know why?
that were
Because they
not
didn't
affected.
look at the right things.
Okay,
Brett.
are you going
they
to
were
be-
counting? They were counting ballots, not the authenticity of the ballot. The ballots were fake ballots. You had this
I
was
asked,
a very rigged
Are you
election.
going to go? This is how you're going to tell that independent suburban woman voter
No,
to vote for
we're
you?
off to winning an election, and I think we're winning very well.
let's get back on track here. Okay, the producer's going. Okay, you've done enough. You get him back on track. Ask him. Is that how you're gonna just ask? Try to ask him. But Ruben left all of that out.
Election was stolen, election was stolen, election was stolen. Okay, the base loves that, but not the people that you need to bring over the new people. And also, again, if you believe the election was stolen, and I think there's all sorts of reasons, certainly that we should have always been allowed to talk about it, and there's all sorts of questions that we should have about it and everything else. The real issue is Donald Trump, what have you done to make sure they will not do it again? And you've done absolutely nothing. That is just the truth. So his answer to what will you do to get middle-class suburban women to vote?
It's just me, or is his mouth really weird? Like most people, when they talk, move their lower jaw and the lower lip more. The upper lip, like it doesn't stay still, but it doesn't move that much, does it? Unless you really pronounce stuff like Trump, you know? But look at his mouth. It's really jarring to me.
For you, right? The group that you need more than anything else. His answer was the election was stolen, and look at FBI.
It's the shape of the mouth. It's I don't know. There's something about the mouth that just jars me here.
These things have nothing to do with nothing. the rest of the interview was a lot of that. Like, it was just bad. Trust me, I watched it, and I was really trying to find the moments where he was laying out a vision. This is why you should vote for me. This is why I'll do better than DeSantis. On top of the fact that he probably created a whole bunch of legal complications for himself regarding these indictments and everything else. I cannot imagine. If you're in the midst of these indictments, again, even if they're a sham, even if there's an asymmetry, all of that stuff, it's like, what do you think his lawyers are saying to him this morning? It's very likely that one of his lawyers will quit.
Notice, by the way, he doesn't say they are shams. He doesn't make that claim because he know there's gonna be legal repercussions probably if he goes down that road too much. He says if they are shams.
Even today. Because what do you think? The lawyers are trying to put something together that makes sense here. They got into the classified document stuff. He started talking about how he had mixed his own personal things with the classified documents. Like, what does that mean? Again, Biden did horrible things with the classified documents, and we need to look at that. Again, I don't know how many.
Biden, Ruben, as you know, this is not news to you, is it? This is not oh, nobody explained that to me. Nobody told me this. No. You know this. Biden gave everything back. Everything. When asked.
How many times I can say that sort of thing? But like, did Trump have his baseball glove in with the classified documents in the same box? Just crazy. But
didn't he have underwear? Wait. Okay, this is not what I look for. Can I put my pants on? Body cam footage shows Trump DOJ official Jeffrey Clark in his underwear as FBI conduct early morning raid on his house. Okay, that was not part of what I wanted to see. Come on, give it. Former First Lady Melania Trump bought new underwear after the FBI searched at her bedroom and closet at Mar-a-Lago as part of the federal investigation into her husband. Okay, so this is what I heard about underwear and the search. Melania doesn't like the idea of strangers going rifling through her things. Who knows who touched her underwear during the raid? They had gloves, probably? Or if they didn't, you can just wash them? I'm assuming. She's never going to feel comfortable wearing those things ever again. Most people don't know that Melania is a bigger germaphobe than her husband. She hates She's a germaphobe and she's married to Donald Trump. She's a germaphobe married to Donald Trump. Oh my God. Can you imagine how disgusting he must be?
What I want to do now is
there's one thing you can never convince me of. Ever. And that's that Melania Trump fucked Donald Trump. You can't convince me of that. And if you can prove it, you cannot convince me that she didn't have a clause in their marriage agreement that said no more than X times a year. Or whenever you want to fuck me, I have to be deposited a certain amount. Like, there's no amount of torture you can put me through to admit to that not being the case at all.
I just want to compare that interview, which happened this week, with an interview a few days ago that Ron DeSantis did with CBN, that's Christian Broadcast Network. And one of the questions came up: if Trump gets indicted, what would you do?
Oh, okay. Let's see here. The best thing, as I've heard others say, the best thing that DeSantis could do is run on freeing Donald Trump, pardoning Donald Trump. Like, blanket, like, no matter what. He gets a pardon, period. That would be his best winning ticket.
As president.
What about, there's been talk about if for some reason he was convicted, a potential pardon. Would a President DeSantis potentially?
So I said before that even happened that we have an uneven justice system. We've seen it weaponized. I'm going to end the weaponization. And part of ending the weaponization is, yes, we're going to clean house at FBI justice. We're going to do a lot. But part of it is using your Article 2 powers to redress wrongs, including potentially pardons. And so we said this is even before it's happened with Trump. We'll have people who've been wronged before we come into office apply. We're going to look. If there was a different standard, we're going to be very inclined to grant clemency in those situations.
I have to say, guys, I love the word juxtaposition, but the juxtaposition of those two guys, body language, clarity, competency. There's a real irony also with Trump right now, which is that DeSantis is probably...
You guys, I love juxtaposition, whatever.
Best chance, possibly your best chance, to not end up in jail. He's telling you, you'll get the pardon if he's president, right? If Biden's president, you ain't...
He heard it too. He heard it. Oh my God. Oh. So no matter, like Trump said, I could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and get away with it.
Ain't getting the pardon. And the chances that you become president, man, I think they are just sinking and sinking. The polls, something is not bearing out properly in the polls.
No,
and remember, guys, national polls mean nothing, right? You have to go state by state and win these primaries. But again, I don't want to get lost in the, okay, this is what's happening on the ground here and there. I want to really focus on, like, what are they really talking about right now? So Trump is still talking about election interference. Trump is talking about, or he's talking about a stolen election beyond election interference. He's talking about how all the people who used to work for him, who were the best of the best, are now pigs and morons.
So things are not looking good for Biden in the polls, actually, which is disheartening, to say the least. So we have just a few mashups. Harris, DeSantis. I don't know why Harris. Nobody's going to vote for Harris. But she gets 40 to 42%. But that's 2+ for Harris. DeSantis. Biden versus DeSantis. DeSantis gets +1 there. Harris versus Trump. Trump gets +7. Biden versus Trump. Trump gets +6. This is not a good look. And this is from the Harris poll. And down here in, I don't know if that's more conservative. JL Partners, I have no idea who they are at all. But they give Biden the better chance, but it's still very close. He gets +2 for Trump, +1 against DeSantis, +7 against Christie, and +3 against Pence. So it's... But here, June 13th, Biden DeSantis, Biden wins, Biden Trump, Trump wins. Biden DeSantis from this one. I don't know why there's 2 polls. Biden +3. It's low, but Biden +3. Biden Trump, Trump wins. Like, no, DeSantis doesn't hold a candle to Trump.
Here is DeSantis when he was
and
asked,
also, that does not include people who just wouldn't vote. That does not include people who would vote third party for Trump in a case of DeSantis.
About some of Trump's behaviors and why that kind of doesn't work anymore.
I appreciate what the former president has done in a variety of realms. He opposes that bill. He said it was, quote, harsh to protect an unborn child when there's a detectable heartbeat. I think that's humane to do. I think pro-lifers have been wanting to see, good pro-life protections, whether it's Florida or Iowa under Kim Reynolds. Very important that you're able to get this stuff done. And of course, we have universal school choice in Florida. We got that done. Parents have a right to direct the education and upbringing of their kid, particularly for parents who want a religious education. They now have the ability, if they can't afford it, they have a scholarship. And yes, we have Christian schools, but we have Jewish day schools. We have things for all parents. That's made us...
What about Muslims?
State a lot stronger. So I don't think there's been anyone that's really been delivering on these key issues more consistently than me. So a lot of times what Republicans and even conservatives will do, they'll say, okay, let's just slow the left down a little bit. It's kind of like managed decline. No. I've reversed the decline in Florida. We're on offense in Florida. And you know what? People are responding positively. I think the country is more prepped right.
I love how even when, like, if the left saw the amount of momentum that the right has, like, we are celebrating Minnesota, but that's like what they did there. That's just standard liberal policy. It's good liberal policy. It's a social democratic policy, but it's not socialism. If the left had the same momentum in the amount of states that Republicans have, Texas, I don't know if Georgia is anymore, but across the old Confederate states, across them. If they had this, if we had the same momentum, we would be punching the fucking roof. Hey, more than half of the Supreme Court are Marxists, are socialists, support the working class, wants to give working class more rights. Oh my fucking God, would we be punching the roof there? Republicans have that momentum, and they still complain. The enemy is both weak and strong at the same time. These are like that's the core of the message of the fascist messaging. The enemy is both weak and strong at the same time. They refuse to admit shit.
Right now than ever the majority to say, you know what, we need to get behind somebody that's going to fight back against all this nonsense, but it's going to do it smartly, it's going to be disciplined, going to be focused, and is going to actually bring all this stuff in for a landing. And if we can do half of what we did in Florida up in Washington, we are going to be in really good shape as a country.
Smart, disciplined, focused, right? Like, is anything that he said right there, did he say anything right there that was not true? It was all true. It's not.
He said nothing. And what he did say is false. Yeah, the country's in decline, but it's from you guys. It's from you. You're the ones who are forcing the country in decline. But no. You're managing the decline. No, that's what we are doing by voting Joe Biden. That's managing the decline. Joe Biden is not doing shit. This is decline, and we're like holding on to the reins. Biden's like Superman on the train tracks, or Superman. What did I say? He's Spider-Man on the train tracks, stopping He's trying to stop the train, but he doesn't know if he can in time. We don't know if he can in time.
Not just that we're slowing it down in Florida, we are actively reversing it by getting wokeness out of schools, by getting ESG out of our government institutions and our banks and things of that nature. Like, we're actually pushing it aside. The managed decline point is interesting. My friend Michael Malice, who's been on the show many times, he always says that conservatism is just liberalism at the speed limit. DeSantis is proving that that doesn't have to be the way, that you can actually go on offense and start reversing what the system is doing to everybody. But it went on.
Conservative is liberalism at the speed limit?
So many times. He always says that conservatism.
Who said that? Who?
Really pushing it aside. The managed decline point is interesting. My friend Michael Malice, who's been on the show many times, he always says that conservatism is just liberalism at the speed limit. DeSantis is proving that that doesn't have to be the way, that you can actually go on offense and start reversing what the system is doing to everybody. But it went on a little bit further. I really thought
liberalism is conservatism at the speed limit. I can get behind. Okay, dude.
This might have been the best portion of that interview. DeSantis was asked why evangelicals should support him in the race. And you have to remember, Christian evangelicals have supported Trump at record high numbers, right? It was something, I think it was like over 90%. Obviously, Mike Pence wants to get a little bit of that constituency. I just don't think that one's going to happen. But here's DeSantis making his case for why they should vote for him.
Iowa, South Carolina, two key important states. There's so many important states, but evangelicals play obviously an outsized role in those states specifically. What's your message to them? And I know it's really to all voters. I get that. But to evangelicals, I mean, they're looking at a country that's gone to hell in a handbasket. Many others have as well. What is your message to them? Because let's be honest, in 2016, they liked Donald Trump a lot. 2020, they did too. Maybe not as much, but they still did. Why? They might still want to go with Trump. So why you rather than a Donald Trump who, was very successful with evangelicals?
Well, one, I think in Florida, we've taken a purple state, turned it into a red state through bold leadership. We need to do the same thing nationally. We've got to beat Biden. The other thing is, I don't think there's any elected official in the country who's not only stood up for the values that we all share, but has actually beat the left back on these things. We're winning in Florida against gender ideology. It is not in our schools. I just signed legislation saying teachers are not allowed to demand pronouns from the kids. I had Walt Disney World come down on me and fight me on that. All these other Republicans are actually taking the side of Disney. They're criticizing me for standing up to Disney.
Kids are not, teachers not allowed to ask kids, how should I address you? Sure, buddy. Sure.
Because they're a big, powerful company and all this other stuff. We stood our ground on that, and we beat Disney and signed that into law, and we ended Disney's self-governing status. And I think, there've been a lot.
He's calling that a win. He's calling it a win. Where is it? Where is it? Ah, never mind. Disney gave him, like, they pulled the rug out from under him. Sure, he beat them in the legal system, but they twisted it. Like, I'm not opposed. I don't like the self-governing thing. Like, of course not. But they managed to fuck DeSantis over so much that he stood there having to pay their taxes pretty much.
A lot of Republicans through the years, who've said they would do things, but when it really gets tough, are you able to stand your ground and do it?
Again, I want to ask you, if you're watching this right now, and let's say you're a huge Trump supporter still, did Ron DeSantis say anything that was untrue there? And the answer is no.
Yeah.
He's not. He's laying
He didn't
out
win
what
over
he has
Disney.
done. And now I just want to show you one more. I said the last one was probably the best one. This is really probably the best one. Because what I think we need right now is we need a renewal of everything, right? We need a renewal of our relationship to government. I think we need sort of a spiritual renewal. I think we need a renewal when it comes to just our, how we deal with the media, how we deal with each other, like the whole freaking thing. And I think Ron DeSantis understands that. And he understands what the founders understood. And he understands American philosophy and the theology that underpinned it and much more. Take a look.
How do you see the country from a Judeo-Christian standpoint? A lot of people call us a Christian nation. They don't mean it from a standpoint of everybody has to be believers of Christ. Obviously, that's not what they're talking about.
Are you sure about that?
But that this country was founded on Judeo-Christian principles. How do you see that in terms of
You sure about that?
infusing that into public policy?
Of course it was. I mean, I don't think there's any question about that. This society, the United States of America, was built on the foundation, of what happened thousands of years ago in the Holy Land. And I think that Judeo-Christian values undergird everything that the founding fathers did. Some of it, was just so embedded, they didn't even need to think about it. Of course, those are the values that you had.
So we need more.
Okay. So the founding fathers, these brilliant people who ushered in a new era of democracy, something without reading a book on it, without doing any amount of research. I know people dismissed. Oh, we can't give people power. We can't have the poor govern themselves. They don't understand. We need smart people. We need kings. We need someone at the helm to rule everything. And these guys go, no, let's do democracy. And let's have people step down peacefully. Which, by the way, the first person, when that happened, I know this, paywalls. I can't search that apparently. Like he did an entire chapter on this. Isn't that where he step? Come on. Oh, never mind. Karl Marx praised George Washington, I believe, for stepping down. Like, he didn't have to. There was no incentive for him to do that. But he believed so much in the idea of America, in the idea of democracy, that he said, I lost, I'll see ya. Like, that moment was when democracy in this newfound concept was cemented in Western culture. That moment. But hey, these guys didn't think they needed to put into writing that it's a Christian nation. They didn't think they needed to do that. Which is why the First Amendment says you don't have a state religion.
Society today.
No, absolutely. I mean, look, at the end of the day, there's certain problems, economic problems, there's problems at the border, there's all very important. But, you know, why are we here? Why are we free people? We're free because God has endowed us with inalienable rights. That's why America was founded. Our Constitution was created not to give us rights, but to protect the rights that God has already bestowed upon us.
Look, you guys know I like the guy I'm supporting, the guy, so I'm not hiding anything here. But that at the end where he can explain, like, could Donald Trump actually explain that? Why the Constitution protects our rights and doesn't give us rights, right? That's the point. We have inalienable human rights given to us by God. And even if you're completely secular, the point is that the government did not make you free. But what the government can do is protect your freedom. Freedom is the birthright of being a human being. And the fact that he can calmly and coolly explain that.
Wait.
Protect your freedom. Freedom is the birthright of being a human being. And
right. Which is a philosophy we have which humans have invented.
The fact that he can calmly and coolly explain that, I think, is just in stark contrast with what I would say is sort of like the sort of descending kind of craziness around Donald Trump, and that is just a shame. He is laying out what his role would be as the chief executive of the United States of America. And guess what, guys? You're not going to believe it. Now we'll get into some more fun stuff. The mainstream media is not having it. Here's a headline from the Washington Post. As the mainstream media is not having it. Ron DeSantis pursues the presidency. His wife's role is limitless. Casey, 42, isn't a typical political spouse. Why does she inspire so much fear? Her rise in TV and insular marriage tell the story. I have to say, Carol Markowitz, who you guys know Carol. She's
okay. That's enough. Ron DeSantis. Sorry, not Ron DeSantis. Dave Rubin. If you wondered, how did one go from being a liberal Democrat in Los Angeles to a conservative Christian in California, or no, sorry, in Florida? I have the answer for you. A Democrat's case for DeSantis. Florida Democrats are the worst people ever. The president of the United States should be very competent. America has many such people, millions even, and the basic litmus test shouldn't be controversial. Yet the current president doesn't pass. Joe Biden's recent on-stage fall at the U.S. Air Force Academy was yet another reminder of his declining physical and mental capacities. The best president in U.S. history was in a wheelchair. Well, maybe not U.S. history. I mean, Lincoln wasn't. But recent history, at least, modern history, was in a wheelchair. And the press didn't say shit. Because they wanted to protect that. Because that wasn't part of politics at that point. Now it is. Now Biden, to be sure, has had a storied political career. His intentions are in the right place, and his administration is brimming with intelligent and highly competent public servants. But the man at the top, POTUS himself, is well past his prime. The main Republican contender, meanwhile, also fails the litmus test. But Donald Trump isn't just far from very competent, he's outright incompetent. He's also, in stark contrast to Biden, dishonest, disloyal, and concerned more with himself than America's interest. As if Biden's not dishonest. What? They're politician. It's part of the game. He also happens to be very popular among Republicans. Current polls point to another Biden versus Trump presidential showdown. But what about the third most likely person to be inaugurated president January 2025? Ron DeSantis. DeSantis is boring and stiff. He's mean. He's as likable as a stinky sock. What? He's as likable as a stinky sock? And he's on the wrong side of numerous important policy debates, from immigration to taxes to judicial appointments. Okay, so far, I'm not completely disagreeing with him. So far it's good. Let's continue reading. Let's hear them. Let's hear the man out. Let's allow William Cooper, the author of Stress Test: How Donald Trump Threatens American Democracy, to cook a bit. But unlike Biden and Trump, DeSantis passes the litmus test. So he has all of the wrong policies, but he passes the litmus test. He's very competent, a Yale and Harvard educated lawyer. But unlike Biden and Trump, DeSantis served in the Navy, including on a tour in Iraq. Disqualified. Immediately disqualified. Before entering Congress and then becoming Florida's governor. And he's effectively achieved his objectives in Florida. Regarding both politics and policy. No comment on the types of achievements he's had, or no. He's achieved it. He's achieved his goals. Okay. DeSantis' competence matters. Why? Because the most important quality to have in a U.S. president is competence. I have other qualifications. I like competence, don't get me wrong, but I have more qualifications. I need moral judgments as well, not just competence in doing bad shit. The biggest question facing the country do not fall comfortably along some left-right axis, but instead, no, they fall on human rights and not human rights. They fall on the Nazi human axis, where DeSantis is firmly in the Nazi camp, while everyone else who's not a moron falls firmly in the human camp. Like Trump falls somewhere in the middle. He's like, I don't care, I just want power, and they will give it to me, and I have to do what they say. So, but he doesn't care about the trans issues. But instead require prudent and empirically effective leadership to address. How should we approach our global rivalry with China? Yeah, how should you approach it? Should you attack them? No. How should we regulate artificial intelligence? A, you can't. B, DeSantis won't know that at all. How should we participate in an international economy complicated by dysfunction and violence around the world, and so on? Indeed, domestic issues matters less and less the more interconnected the world gets. I would say it's the opposite. Hey, Blaze. And we're just reading a Democrat's case for DeSantis. It's a shit show. And I have a cold, if you wonder. Where was I? Indeed, domestic issues matter less and less the more interconnected the world gets. And it's getting exponentially more interconnected as it marches on. This, in turn, decreases the relevance of a president's political party and increases the importance of a president's competence. I don't care. I've never cared about the political party. That's completely useless. I care about their ideology, not the party. What the fuck? But if your ideology is on the side of Nazis, I tend to care about and cared not enough to not want you to want to be president. Far better to get the culture wars wrong, but get China right than vice versa. Why? Why? If you get the culture wars wrong, in this case, LGBTQ issues, in this case, workers' rights, etc., etc., if you get those things wrong, what's the point of the country? Oh, but we're thriving. No, rich people are thriving. Rich people are fleecing you. You're throwing trans kids into camps. You're genociding people. But hey, at least our economy is strong. Same with taxation. Better to tilt the code a little more towards the rich if it means we also get smarter regulations protecting humanity from the downside of artificial intelligence. So, on the one hand, hypothetically, assuming that DeSantis passes legislation that reins in AI a bit. Let's assume he does that. Let's imagine that possibility, that impossibility even. Okay, we're here. But then, for some reason, like he's protecting workers from being replaced with AI, or he's allowing, like he's saying, okay, if you're going to implement AI, it has to be to reduce workers' workload, but they remain at the same pay. You have to like working. Let's say half the hours. Like, okay, we have a 4-hour workday now, or a 3-day work week. Let's assume that. Okay, and the rest is AI. Fine, great, I love it, perfect. No notes. If he does that, why would he be doing anything? Like, how can you mesh that with lowering taxes on rich people? The two are mutually exclusive in my mind, like ideologically mutually exclusive. I can envision someone who thinks rich people deserves more and more saying, go wild on AI. Don't, just so long as you don't destroy humanity. But he says, like, that's not the right path for AI. He's not correct on AI, probably, I'm assuming, because he also wants to give rich people more money. Like, the two don't mesh ideologically, is what I'm saying. If it means also protecting humanity from the downside of artificial intelligence, appoint conservative judges all day long if it means America's international effectiveness and leadership improves. Again, mutually exclusive ideas, ideologically. Conservative judges will give you more conservative politicians because they will approve of gerrymandered maps. More likely, they're not necessarily going to do that, but more likely, they will approve of conservative voting suppression laws. They will fuck over people, but somehow this is going to improve America's international effectiveness and leadership. Get real. America's domestic squabbles just don't mean as much as they used to. They mean more today than ever since World War II ended, probably. And it's a sign of our national decadence and complacency that our political focus is nonetheless still insular and myopic. The world is dangerous and complicated place, And the President of the United States should be, above all else, very good at dealing with global challenges. A simple question establishes the point. Which candidate would be better at the helm in a global crisis? An 80-year-old who can't walk straight, Joe Biden, a 76-year-old with the emotional intelligence of a 10-year-old, or a 44-year-old Harvard law-trained Navy vet who skillfully runs his home state. Skillfully run, like he approves of what Ron DeSantis has done in Florida. And he's a fucking Democrat. This election, American voters will likely once again be asked to choose the least worst option for the nation's most important job. It would be better if a highly competent, intelligent, and well-intentioned candidate replaced Biden on the Democratic ticket. Until then, DeSantis all the way. If you've ever wondered how the fuck did Florida go from purple to deep blue, just look at their Democrats. The election between, I want to say, Bush v. Gore. Bush v. Gore. Right, because that was the, yeah, of course it is. I think that's the last time it was a nearly a dead heat. No, I don't want to listen to that. I can open image somehow. Open image, new tab. There we go. George Bush got 2,886,311 votes, while Gore got 2,875,284 votes. Like, that's a razor thin margin. And they've never, the Democrats hasn't recovered since. So yeah, that's why. Like, what can you say? What can you do with friends like these who needs enemies, right? With morons like these running the party. What even is the point? Why bother in the end? I've been streaming for a while, Blaze. This is not the first stream, unfortunately. For some reason, my computer had a fit, and it decided to shut down, or not shut down. It just went black. Yeah, if I show you, whee. So when I'm done with streaming, I'm gonna restart my computer. Okay. But I'm not done yet. I want to talk. First of all, what's something I need to talk about? What's something I wanted to talk about? I need to write these things down. Like, I had an idea and I wanted to speak on, but I couldn't. Never mind. Maybe I'll remember it later. Before I end stream, should I? How long is it? It's just 10 minutes. I can manage. Let's do a Jubilee. Frat bros ranking themselves by intelligence. Let's enjoy. This is gonna be fun, I think.
My name is Kaim. I go to UCLA. I'm in Delta Tau Delta.
My name is Mateo. I go to UC Santa Barbara. I'm a member of Sigma Alpha Epsilon fraternity.
My name is Chris. I go to UCLA. I'm in Delta Sigma Phi.
I'm Max. I go to Arizona State University. I'm in Kappa Alpha Order.
Hi, my name is Fu. I went to Cal State Fullerton. I was in Pi Kappa Alpha.
I'm Alexis. I'm from UCSB, brother of Gamma Zeta Alpha Fraternity Incorporated.
Just going off that, you guys.
I mean, first of all, what the fuck? I don't understand the frat bro culture at all. At all.
Want to rank each other?
Why not?
Nah,
Yeah.
I want more information.
Yeah, actually, no, I do agree.
That's crazy.
You're last.
So, okay, so let's rank first. Let's do major and then like your ideal job in like 10 years, 15 years.
You want to go first?
And this is gonna get them to understand intelligence. Bruh. We have I know of hot dog salespersons that probably has higher IQ than these guys.
Yeah, so biochemistry major, and ideally what I want to do is get into pharmaceutical research. Right now I'm doing gene splicing with mitochondrial DNA.
Oh, that's number one for me.
Yeah, you wanna?
Well, I mean, sure, that's hard, but doesn't mean he has high intelligence, you know?
I understand like half of what you're talking about, you know. So I'm an.
What? You mean he used lingo? He used jargons? Oh, you're an economist? Back of the line, bitch.
Econ major. I have a minor in Spanish.
Back of the line.
10 years from now, I'd love to go into arbitration, some sort of like business law.
I'm political science, and then I have minors in English and film, and I want to be a TV development executive.
Ugh. Oh. Ugh. TV development? You want to be a TV development executive? I don't know what that is. What I do know is that it's the death of creativity.
I want to do business law. Well, I'm
So he might be intelligent, actually.
majoring in that now, but like definitely want to be a lawyer. Okay.
Yeah, right on. Let's go.
The average length, business law average length of career. Can I get that? Average length of a corporate law career. Legally, India. That's not what I want. But I know it's really, 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 really short because it's really, 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 really boring, apparently. Which obviously it is. Which type of lawyers makes the most? The state's a lawyer. How many hours a lawyer? Where are many lawyers in there? Never mind. I know it's a short career.
Connections.
I graduated in business finance, but right now I'm doing real estate. In 10 years from now, I'm going to be a major real estate guru here.
Back of the line, brother. You want to be a real estate guru?
In California.
You have your startup, right?
You're gonna be making IG reels.
I don't know. Wait, I feel like the fact that he already has like things going for him, like I kind of want to put him up there too.
No.
Yeah, I'll put you at like 2.
No. That dude is gonna be at the bottom.
Startup's just a little bounce house where I rent out the famous bounce house castle to like sororities, graduation, weddings, and stuff.
That's still money,
I mean,
man.
that's
Don't
still-
knock yourself
yeah.
down. Yeah.
But I'm a communications major, and then I want to do applied psychology and then minor in education, and then I want to become a teacher.
I don't care about his intelligence. First of all, don't go into communications at all. Don't study media. Don't. It's an easy way to get a major, or is an easy way to get a degree, but don't study it, okay? You want to be a teacher? Go study teaching. Go study developmental psychology. Go study history, whatever subject you want to study, okay? Don't study communications.
I would put you higher. You're trying to go into law, so you
Higher than you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he said he wanted to do law school too. So
you can go up here.
All right. Come over here too.
So they're gonna be my lawyer in the future. I hope so.
What kind of law are you two trying to get into? I want to do corporate law.
Yeah, arbitration. So more like for civil cases, like before you go to court, you can like agree on a number.
You're doing film. Now you see the camera crew here. That's a lot of work. You gotta be smart to do that.
So at least okay. So this guy knows his worth. At least he understands. Okay, I know I'm not the smartest one here. Okay, I know that. I have 85 IQ. I'm not gonna get any more. I'm not gonna beat any of these guys. So I'm with him. I am absolutely with him on where he should be at least.
Shout out. Who's a little humble? He's about to walk out.
I don't know.
He's about to walk out like a 150 or something.
Who's trying to set us up for the switcheroo?
I'm just gonna have us switch just because of all that like expertise that you have, like film, political science. The third one. Yeah.
English.
English. Okay.
I kind of want to switch with you just because I feel like I'm kind of still like a freshman. I would put you like right here. And
Are they? They are conflating knowledge with intelligence here, which is a very Western. Well, intelligence overall is a very Western idea, but conflating knowledge and intelligence, that's doubly Western. Okay.
I'd put myself
Are we like? But smartness and IQ are like two separate things. Your smartness or
now you're
like whatever you know is like what you're educated on, but your IQ is your intelligence.
so knowledge, not smartness. So knowledge,
like your mind is capable of. So like how smart you are.
and that's not what IQ is at all. At all. The best explanation I've had with intelligence, not necessarily IQ, but intelligence in general, is the ability to connect two unconnected ideas. Finding the connection, finding a path between A to Q, that's intelligence. Knowledge, completely different. IQ is our way of trying to measure our intelligence.
How you apply.
But it's not what we are capable of. That's no.
So I don't think necessarily like your major needs to correlate with it.
Right. Fair enough. Like someone's artistic, but like just because they aren't good at math doesn't mean that they're not smart. And like
I think I was just gonna say like I think IQ is like it's a test.
Well, thank God the frat bros aren't focusing so much. Like they did it at first, but they're not. Oh, I'm a lawyer, therefore I should be like, okay. They're recognizing creativity, but he doesn't want to be creative. Okay, that's not no.
That allegedly tests like your mental capacity.
For what though? Like,
but for what? And also, I think it's like you're talking about like time management, and also like work ethic. It's like if you're talking about intelligence, I think somebody who knows how to like manage their time and get stuff done is more intelligent than somebody who has like a higher capacity but doesn't apply it.
IQ said.
I don't know this. I don't know. Did he have a good time management? Albert Einstein worked 10 hours a day, 6 days a week for years. He demonstrated tremendous ability to focus on the work for extended periods of and apply himself to big things. Okay, he was. But I know Karl Marx. I know Karl Marx was a slob. He was completely like scatterbrained. For sure, he would probably have been diagnosed with ADHD. People with ADHD can't time manage because they're time blind, or we are time blind. Intelligence and time management are not the same thing. They are not correlated. And I just remember what it was that I wanted to talk about. So I'm gonna find out while we continue watching this.
That doesn't do with emotional intelligence.
And there's also like social intelligence, like, people who are just really good at like reading a room and being like, hey, this is what's going on.
I just find it interesting how you lower yourself because you're a freshman and he's a senior. I feel like the way you think is, I'm like kind of think like with age comes with like knowledge. Because if you really think about it, he graduated already.
Yeah. I'm just glad I graduated. I don't know how I graduated, to be honest.
You put yourself at the end too. We had you up here.
I don't know why you put yourself back here at the end. You should.
I've never.
We should definitely be on that.
Because he wants to be a real estate guru. I'm certain that Fu has already tested. He seems like the type. He has already tested himself on intelligence, and he knows that he's not that smart, or he doesn't have that high of an IQ. Okay, he knows it.
Literally said that IQ is like your ability to apply stuff, and we discussed you already are making money off of things that you've applied. You should be,
if not first, second.
Yeah. I don't know. And
Yeah.
If not first, second, fourth.
Yeah.
How would you guys define intelligence? Like,
That's a good question.
I think like intelligence is defined as your mind's capability to like process, analyze, and apply information. Not necessarily in like a specific field, but it could be like anything. Like, how do I take in new stuff, and how do I utilize that?
I think a big thing with like what makes somebody intellectual is the fact that they can admit that they're wrong and listen to when someone has an opinion that differs from their own.
I also
Being intellectual and having a high IQ is not necessarily a one-to-one, okay?
I think a huge part of IQ is like creativity, like just thinking of like new ideas outside of the box. Like Einstein, you know, he like created all these like different theories that like no one had ever thought about before, and it's like
not entirely true, but
Like thing was it like Isaac Newton invented calculus, died a virgin, and so it's Isaac Newton objectively smarter than myself in every regard. If you're talking about like in like social stuff, there's like a lot of smart people I know that don't know how to like carry a conversation.
Isaac Newton wouldn't get a bid.
Yeah, no.
No, he wouldn't. No
bids guy for
no,
sure.
Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg, literally like just an NPC, probably super smart, but like he's not getting a bid.
Do you guys feel like there's like a stigma between like people in fraternity, specifically fraternity men, and like intelligence?
Yeah, I feel there is. We're always dumb. We just want to drink and party, don't do anything, but the reality is we actually put in a lot of work because we have to work hard in order to play hard.
Right.
And
I
we
agree.
just don't party. We waste money for charity. We always do philanthropy for the school.
Frat boys are definitely painted as like this two-dimensional, what is it, like Wolf of Wall Street characters, you know?
Another thing I think like people that aren't in Greek life don't realize is like there's like an academic standard, you know, like everyone has to like succeed in the classroom and like get good grades in order to be an active member.
I mean,
at least for me,
you're a college student. Respectfully, I think that you should be higher up. Like, I think you should be too. I don't know. I just feel like the way that he's quieter, I think, but I think that when he does speak, it's very deliberate and like efficient.
Thank you.
I don't know. I think you're smart. Like, it's smarter than me at least.
Sure.
I think like a lot of the stigma too, I think it's on us to overcome that. Because I think like historically, it's like you see these like Barstool and whatever, it's every time you see a frat dude, he's doing something dumb. And so I think there's like, I do dumb things. I feel like I can also do well in the classroom.
Definitely like portrayal in like movies and stuff too. Like there's a really old movie like called Animal House.
Animal House.
Yes. Yeah, it was just like just a bunch of like juvenile delinquents living in a house together somehow making ends meet, and it's like that's not really the reality of things.
And like the word that they use too, like
it's an old depiction though. Like I've never looked into it, but I can imagine the frat culture has needed to change a lot, especially during the later years. Like in 2016 thereabouts, there were frat houses that were accused of some heinous shit. Like they were chanting frat house chants rape. We can do rape chant. Greek tragedy. What is this? What's the 2022 even? Damn. Greek tragedy. Sigma Phi Epsilon shuts down hard partying University of Miami chapter after female students complain their drinks were spiked at party where frat bros chanted about rape and murder.
like frat and fraternity. Like in the news, you will never see the full word fraternity. You will see frats do this, frats do that. Frats get a really bad name and stigma to that.
One other question. Who knows more than one language?
That's 90% of Europe knows more than one language. Okay, a lot of the world. I think like 90% of the world knows more than one language. And of those people, I think a very high percent probably knows more than three or more languages even.
All right, I'm gonna need to raise both of you.
No.
Yeah, for sure.
No.
I will play favorites out there.
Because
No. That language. The funny thing is, we didn't have it for a very, very, very long time in human development. When was language invented? 50 to 150,000 years ago. When did human sapiens evolve? For half of humanity as we know it, for half of our human sapiens, Homo sapien, I mean, for half. No, okay, modern Homo sapiens. What's the difference? Okay, let's assume 160 years ago. That still leaves 10,000 years, countless of generations that didn't have language. Okay? There was I just want to see what this is. So here is a comparison of human versus our cousins' language, I'm guessing. So they're like doing basic. And we've seen this. We know people who have lived in Africa with the jungle tribes, Westerners who's lived with them, where they learn to speak with the animals. They can listen to what the animals are saying, like the pitch of a chirp or the coo from a monkey, and they can go, oh, there's a tiger nearby, or oh, there's water over there, stuff like that. They know how to listen to the jungle and the animals there in order to. So this is very. I absolutely believe this. Anyway, my point is, for 10,000 years, we didn't have language at all, as we know it, or any semblance of language. We had probably individual sounds that meant danger or water and stuff like that, but no stringing together words. Okay. Our brain, despite that fact, and despite the fact that we haven't evolved as a species since then, our brain is hardwired for language, it turns out. I had a teacher in school, one of the best teachers I've ever had, when I was studying at Santa Monica College. Amazing teacher, a lesbian, but she didn't look at it. Let's put it that way. Small tangent. When we started, he didn't. One of my classmates in this course didn't make a peep, and it was an intercultural communications course. One of the students there didn't make a peep. He was African American. Or he didn't speak up, at least. At the end of the course, he stood up, like the last day of the course. He stood up and he said, with tears in his eyes, he said, "I am so sorry. When I started here, I was deeply homophobic. But thanks to this course, thanks to your teaching, thanks to other students being accepting of me despite this fact," because he was in a group with a gay person as well. Despite all of this, thanks to all of this, I've now come to realize how wrong I've been. Like that was so fucking powerful. Anyway, she told me or she told the story of her son, because she had I believe a Japanese or Chinese au pair, or an au pair couple even, I believe, who took care of of her kid. Chinese, I think. And so they used to sing in Cantonese or Mandarin or whatever, and I think Mandarin. And they used to speak to the kid in Mandarin. It's like, whatever. It's a kid. Who cares? When that kid started school, and he was like 13, 14, 15, somewhere there, when I was studying. So she said his teacher in Mandarin called her and asked, why the fuck is he so good at this? Because she said he was the only student that teacher had who has ever been that good at pronunciations. Because if you don't, the way our brain works is, if you don't use it, you lose it. And when you're young, when you're just a toddler, the way when you hear sounds, if you don't hear those sounds, you can never hear those sounds in your adult life. And when I say that, I don't mean, oh, you can't replicate. Oh, no. You can't hear. You might think you're hearing it. You can't even hear it. You can't process it. That part of the brain is solidified. So the way you process, that's why we have the accents. The way you process language is directly is a one-to-one to how you what languages or what words, what sounds you were exposed to as a kid. Which is why if you listen to PewDiePie speak, for example. Now I know I don't have perfect English. I know I'm at times, or quite often, but my cadence might be off, or my pronunciation might be off, or whatever. And I think I've gotten quite a lot better since I started streaming, because I'm more practiced now. But that's because my mom's American. That's because I heard those noises when I was a kid. If I go to any Swede, pretty much, not any Swede, but most Swedes, you're going to hear a lot more bad pronunciations. My point here is, just because you speak multiple languages, don't make you smart, bucko.
That's like a big lexicon of knowledge.
I feel like it's easier when you're raised speaking two languages. I feel like I'm not fluent in Spanish, but I've definitely attempted to learn it. I've definitely attempted to learn Japanese. I'm not fluent in either, but the fact that I tried, I don't know.
Right. Are you watching animes in Japanese though?
Yes.
Could you do it without subtitles?
Dweeb. It's not a weird. No, that's not an intelligence thing. At all.
I'd say get back right.
All right. Well,
pass me.
You're a smart guy. No, you gotta smash my man. You're also really smart.
Okay.
Just like from our conversations, I feel like wrong having Chris last. Maybe like.
No, I agree with that. Chris should be higher, actually.
Right above me. That's what I think. Yeah.
And they're not even questioning the dude at the top at all. Like, he's not hardly spoken.
All right. Do you guys want to change anything around?
Final ranking.
Okay. So this dude is going to be at the bottom for sure. Out of all of these, we have nothing on him pretty much, apart from his field. So sure, put him up there because everyone else's field is stupid. Except for this, didn't he want to be a teacher? Isn't that the teacher? These two are lawyers. So this dude, I think, should be here, actually. Maybe even here. I think this dude is going to be out. Fu is going to be at the bottom. These two are going to come afterwards. And then these three are going to be here somewhere, okay? That's my... I can't lock it in more than that. Oh, okay, let me do an IQ test afterwards, actually. I'm going to do an IQ test myself afterwards.
Hey, it's Paulo. Are you enjoying this episode of Ranking? If you are, subscribe down.
Finish the test. Any thoughts before you see your scores?
It was harder than I thought.
Yeah, it was tough.
I was getting dizzy at the end. There's so many shapes.
I'm confused how.
Oh, and by the way, if there had been older people here, they would have been at the bottom. Just out of statistics, you know. There is a mark. There's a statistical, not a statistical. There's a every generation has become more and more intelligent since we started to measure intelligence. Intelligence between generations graph. What is this? This is not intelligence? Nope. The Flynn effect, is that what I'm thinking of? Samuel also sustained increase in both fluid and crystallized intelligence test scores that were measured in many parts of the world over the 20th century. When intelligence quotient IQ tests are initially standardized using a sample of test takers, by conventional, the average of the test results is set to 100, blah, blah. When accuracies were revised, they were again standardized using a new sample of test takers, usually born more recently than the first. The average set result of 100, blah, blah. Test score increases have been continuous and approximately linear from the earliest year of testing to the present. If you ever wonder, is intelligence fluid or set? It is absolutely fluid.
How some of the things we saw have any like physical application to like real
No.
world. Like no, it felt like an
It
episode of
doesn't.
The Wiggles. Like it was bad.
It's pattern recognition.
Yeah. It was the Teletubbies. It was like the shapes and stuff, yeah.
Are you guys ready to know your scores?
Yeah,
Yes.
let's do it.
So, in 6th, with the lowest score was Alexis.
Oh.
92.
In
Ooh. Like, okay, shouldn't, but ooh.
5th is Fu.
Yeah, okay. So at least I was right on that. He's going to be at the bottom.
107.
Whoa, that's a stark difference.
In 4th is Mateo.
110.
In 3rd is Max.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
112.
In 2nd is Kareem.
Yeah.
128.
Ooh. And in 1st is
Damn.
Chris.
$141.
Yes.
So the
141. That's pretty good.
The average score is 100. Do you think that reflects your intelligence?
I would say no, because it doesn't calculate in like emotional intelligence or creativity, because the test was pretty quick. It was 35 questions in 25 minutes. I guess I won a whole bunch because I was crunching on time. I had a minute left with like 8 questions.
So the one I was wrong about was this guy. Wait,
Do you
that's
think
it? No?
intelligence immediately translates to success?
No. By no means.
No.
They're by no
Takes
no
hard work.
shot.
And luck and opportunity.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of
Luck and
combinations.
opportunity.
When you apply for a job, they just care what degree you got and then how you're gonna apply to your job and how hard you're gonna work. Like in business, the most important thing that I see is how you manage to grow each day.
What do you think this kind of experiment says about frat bros?
We're smart fellas.
You can't put a title on any category of person.
We're all smart in different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that an arbitrary number like IQ or GPA is like not the most like real indicator of that.
Wait, what was? Strangers rank their intelligence. No. Okay, let me do. Did I do the Mensa test? What was that? Mensa.org. Sure. Let me. Mensa.org/public/Mensa IQ challenge. Please select your age range, 18 to 50. In this example, you see a grid of 8 shapes that follows a certain rule of or pattern, with a 9th lisping. After you have worked out the relationship between the shapes, you choose which of the 6 alternatives that completes the pattern. You notice that all the shapes in each row are similar in both shapes and color in each column. There is one of each shape. The correct answer is therefore B. There's a difference. Okay, here's a Mensa Norway. Interesting. There's another way to also see if you have the correct one. You can look up to down. No matter if you look left to right or up to down, you should be able to get the correct answer here. So up to down, you have circle, square, rectangle. Circle, square, rectangle, circle, square. It must be a rectangle. Circle, 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 square, 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 rectangle, rectangle, rectangle. So that's how you, a little pro tip that I've discovered myself, because I'm that intelligent. Exact one. Choop, choop. It's going to be there. We have plus, 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 square, square. We have square, square. So we're just going to have square in a square. Circle, empty, dot, plus, plus, empty. Oh, and diagonally as well. So we have empty, 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 but it's going to be a slider, right, middle, left, up, middle, down. So it's going to be down. Yes, because you can see them twist, and that means there. Up, right, up, left, right. Okay, the middle, it's going to go to the right. So, yep, it's going to be the full one, the E. I'm just going to do this. I'm not going to be talking too much, okay? There. So it has to be down. Is it this one it has to be, right? Yep. Yes. No. I've never seen this one before. What is it? What are we doing here? Chup, chup, chup. What are we doing here? We have... So it's filled, or it's like a so it just needs to be this. Is that it? Because everyone has one that is full, and then down, and then up, then down. This goes up, down, so it has to be up. This goes down, up, down. This goes Ends, middle, both, or dense. It has to be. I'm gonna say C. Okay. That's easy. Up, left, down. Right, up, left. Down, right, up. Up, left, down, or down, left. So it has to be up there. Up, left, down. Okay, it's twisting leftwards. Leftwards, leftwards. So it has to be up. Wait, just let me down. Yeah, because that up comes after that one. And after up comes left. Yep. Next. So it okay. It removes the. There we go. Let me just double check. Yes. It combines the two and removes anything that's overlapping. It has to be A. So it's no black, so it has to be a black, and there's no triangle, so it has to be a triangle. That's interesting. Okay, so we have a circle, square, circle, or triangle, triangle, circle, square, square, triangle, circle, diagonal, vertical, horizontal, vertical, diagonal, or vertical. So it has to be a horizontal circle. 1, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 3. Up, right, down, left, up, right, down, left, up, up 3. Up, left, and B. No. Because it doesn't match diagonally, does it? But it has to be. Turns clockwise. It has to be. There's no other option. There's no other option. This, but that way, right? I'm not seeing any other option. So we've got circle, 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 square, 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 dots. We don't have any dots here. We have a cross. We don't have the diamond either, and it has to be a diamond. It has to be diamond dots. There we go. And again, the overlapping. So there's not going to be, it's just going to be an arrow behind. So if we go this, no, diagonally doesn't work here. What about top to down? Square removes, but there's a diagonal there, and there's a diagonal there, and then removes. Yeah, top to down works. Combines again, and it removes overlapping. So there's going to be 2 squares. Yep. So it moves left to right on the top, and it obfuscates the circle. The bottom is stationary. So it's this one, right? Yep. So I have 2 there. I have this one there. What I'm missing is, because that one's there, that one's there. So they all have the same shapes, but they're not in, what's the order? What am I missing here? There's supposed to be some kind of order. We have square, circle, triangle, circle, square, triangle, 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 circle. This one, that one. We're missing it's either B or F. I am not seeing the pattern here. I know it's B or F, because that's the only one without a white square. Or those are the only ones with white squares. The white square is replaced. Can we find a pattern that way, perhaps? Square, white square, white triangle, black circle. Black circle, white square, white triangle. So we have to have black circle and but it's the same thing there. Black circle, triangle, triangle, black circle. God. Oh, but they come in sequential. See here? White, black, black. Black, white, white. No, that doesn't work. I'm gonna go with F. I think. Might be wrong. Again, overlapping and removing whatever's overlapping. So there's not going to be something down there. This seems easier, actually. So it's going to be this one, right? No, yeah, this one. Yep. Is it overlapping? No. What is this? These two are identical. Why? Dots, dots. Anything that's not overlapping. Okay. This is the reverse. Very tricky. So it's only going to be E. Yep. Anything not overlapping is shown. No, everything overlapping, is shown. Everything not overlapping inside the circle, because the circle is always overlapping and they don't remove it. So the circle, okay, they always have the circle there. No dot and only down right. Yes. That's interesting. So it moves clockwise. There's going to be left, and there's one big, one small, and one in between. We have a small, we have an in between, but we don't have a big, and it has to be to the left. Does this combine? No, it overlaps. Anything overlapping is removed. Yes. So there's going to be nothing there. It's going to have one up. It's going to be an A here. Yeah. So we have 3, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. Black, black. Oh, wait, overlapping. This is not a math issue. So this removes the whites from that one, and it adds, left adds, right removes. unless they're on the same side, it seems. Because then, okay, everything on the same side is added, and the opposite is removed, it seems. Or would this mean... God damn. Is it B? Is B the answer? I don't think B is the answer. Is it C? I think it might be C, actually, because the whites take out... yeah, they take out each other. They cancel each other. There we go. So it's C. Because there's nothing canceling these. But there is something canceling the whites there. Okay, so it's C. Dots, dot. So overlapping dots is turned into a flag or a square. And then that flag. Dot flag. Okay. Again, overlapping dots turns into a square. Dot and square is removed. So overlapping dots. So there's going to be a square up left. And what about overlapping squares? Do we have that? Yeah, no, we don't. There's nothing about overlapping squares. I'm assuming they're also removed. That's the only rule I know. So we're going to have square. We're going to have square up right. We're going to have a dot down left. And we're going to have a square, square, dot. What the fuck is this? We don't have a rule for that. Square. Can we have dots on both sides, perhaps? That's the only one that fits. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with it. Anything overlapping is removed. And everything else is combined. So no, we're gonna have That's it. D. Right? Yes. Here we go. Here's the what they tried to fool me with earlier. So overlapping removes. But also not overlapping removes? Because what happens with why is it empty here? And dot dot turns into square. Interesting. So a dot dot is going to have one of these dot squares upright. And then we're going to have, so if it doesn't overlap, it's empty. So none of these are going to be there. And if it's completely empty, do we have anything for that? No, we don't. We don't have anything for completely empty. What? Which one is it? Oh, it's going to be a square upright, by the way. Dot, dot turns that. Dot, dot. But there's no empty square upright. Why not? Is something to do with what's on the other side, perhaps? So this... This is a math problem. It's not overlapping. It's about math. I do not see the pattern, I'm afraid. I'm going to say that I have no idea. I'm going to pick D. Can it be really D? Feels bad. Can it be E? Could be E. I mean, just it could be A, actually. How about A? Does A feel right? It doesn't feel right, but I'm going to pick A. Okay. Interesting. I'm not seeing the pattern here either, really. This is why I don't have 140 IQ like the other guy. So if it's empty, if this is also a math problem, perhaps. Just tilted it. Is that it? I'm not seeing it. This and this is pretty much the same thing. But I don't have a... I should be able to see it. Nothing is overlapping at all. We have overlaps here. But down that way it overlaps. So it's not about overlapping. But could it be C? I'm going to go with C. I think it's wrong, but I'm going to go with it. Oh my God, now we've gotten really, really... I am not seeing this one either. What is this? What am I looking at? What pattern am I looking for? Is my question. Nope. I am so not seeing this. That it's not even funny anymore. Well, we have 1, 2, 3 whites. That's 2 whites. 1, 2, and that's 2 blacks. 1, 2, 1, 3. That's 1. Why is there only 2 here? Same 2 as here. What is the pattern that I'm not seeing? Wait. It's just a... No. Can it be that easy? I don't think it's that easy. No, it's not that easy. Let me go with which feels right. C. Again, overlapping? No, not overlapping this time. We have this combined with this turns into this somehow. Or so that is twisted, but why isn't the square included here? Why is there a line down here? Dum dum. Could it be? Like we have, if we go that way, if we go this way, no. But which it's B or F. It's B or F. I'm going to go with F, but I don't know why is my issue. Oh, that's the end. Okay, let me go back to where I started to struggle, which is somewhere around here. No, this one I figured out. This one I didn't figure out. And I just... So here the pattern seems so simple. Here, dot dot turns square. Square dot turns nothing. Dot square is nothing. Then nothing. Oh, square turns square. It makes sense. I can get that, but that's the wrong pattern. Dot dot square. Okay. But then we should have square. Okay. Wait. Did I figure this one out? It seems like I figured it out, actually. I just had to extrapolate with... square, because I don't get square anywhere else, do I? No, I don't. So that's the only... What if I go up, down? Because time is running out either way. I'm done here. Yeah, no. I think I'm good here. I think this is correct. 133. Fuck yeah. That's what I thought. Did I close that window? Yeah, I did. So where did the frat bros? I want to see their final ranking. Here we go. I would be here with my score, which means nothing at the end of the day. It means nothing. But this is in line with what I've tested before. I usually get around somewhere here. So yeah, your boy's smart. He's got skills, and you can all suck it. Okay. I'm off. I'm not going to be streaming for the rest of the week, and if I do, it's going to be on Sunday. Probably not. Probably not. But if I do, it's Sunday. Yeah, I'm I was gonna talk before my girlfriend gets home. Close that. Just a quick thing. MDMA has been linked. There was a white supremacist who just took was part of a study, took an MDMA pill or a dose, and immediately as the dose kicked in, he's like, "Why am I doing this? What's wrong with me?" And he's changed his life. He was part of this rally. He was. He had been exposed by Antifa. His family had completely abandoned him or cut him off. So much so that he spent an entire Thanksgiving alone, you know. But he took this though. He's like, I've been completely wrong. What the fuck? This sparked a discussion online. Like, MDMA is not going to do shit. Because Charles Manson, for example, like they experimented quite heavily with drugs, LSD and stuff like that. And MDMA has been said to be the empathy or the empathy enhancer. Like you start to feel connected to people more and more and more. So I'm like, Someone said that Charles Manson would, and I'm like, I wonder. So I had to look it up. How do psychopaths react to MDMA? As someone who may or may not be a psychopath, like so cold, like you're a psychopath, dude. If you think you're a psychopath, you're probably a psychopath. Okay. Which reminds me, if you ever wonder if someone is a narcissist, you ask them and they say yes. Apparently, it's like one of the criteria for being a narcissist is saying, "No, I'm good enough. Yeah. No, I am good enough that I should love myself that much." But okay, may not be a psychopath, but who has taken MDMA several times. It does nothing like what it does for most people. There's no increase in emotional empathy. It's just like caffeine or amphetamines. It basically provides the same physical effects as any other stimulants. I have taken MDMA several times. After the first 2 times with no effect, I was really curious as to why it didn't work. I decided to experiment complete psychopath behavior. So I got a few test kits. I made sure MDMA was present. I eschewed consumption of any other substance. I invited others to come share some Molly with me. Did he put up posters or something? I don't know. Long story short, everyone rolled except for one person who, as a control, again, complete psychopath behavior, just to make sure people weren't faking it, was given an inert substance. He spent most of the evening in the bathroom on his phone going, "Does ecstasy cause diarrhea?" Long story short, and me, I felt the same as if I had snorted Ritalin. The only aspect of note is that my acuity for perceiving the emotional states of others became enhanced. So while there was no effect on emotional empathy, there was a shift in the degree which I could perceive the cues they gave as to their emotional state. My point is, or rather, not my point, but why I am sharing this, because this reminded me of ADHD medication. People with ADHD, when they take stimulants, when they take methamphetamines, we don't experience the same thing as you do. For us, we get calm, we get focused. We finally I can do shit. We do not party on it. It's not a party drug for us. It just helps us manage the day, you know. Giving MDMA, LSD, whatever you want, to a psychopath seems to make them better at being psychopaths. Apparently, Nazis experimented quite a lot with MDMA and LSD and stuff like that. It's not a magical cure-all just because we found an example of a Nazi going, I've been wrong. Wait, I need to change my life. It's not gonna cure every white nationalist that way. In a lot of cases, it's probably just gonna cause them to become more empathetic towards their own. In a lot of cases, probably just gonna, because a lot of them are probably psychopaths. It's just gonna make them better at being psychopaths, you know. So yeah, I found that very interesting. But yeah, I'm off. I might be streaming on Sunday, but I don't know. I'm not promising. But if I am streaming this week anymore, it's on Sunday. So you guys take care, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. I love you all. Okay. See ya.